Definitions relating to witchcraft. Witchcraft. Witchcraft is a term used by Roman Christians to denote the general practice, usually involving women called witches, of making a pact with the devil for the purpose of overthrowing God's divine plans for mortal humans on earth. It may also mean the use or practice of sorcery or black magic. This is the definition and practice for which so many were tortured, tried and executed during the burning times. Which is also a term used by later Christians, from the Reformation down to today, to denote anyone, usually female, who practices witchcraft. In the case of female witches, it was generally believed that the pact with the devil was consummated by the woman having intercourse with the devil, and that by the witch's association with the devil, the woman would become carnal and sexual in nature, thus the frequent association of witchcraft with sexual liberty. Classic Christian concept of Satan with his witches. Today its definition is very broad and covers the entire spectrum from one who follows the old religion and practices a nature-based belief/philosophy and goddess/god worship without the use of magic, to the other end of the spectrum, meaning one who practices magic, but refers to their religious belief/philosophy as heathen or pagan. Wicca. Wicca, as used today, usually by hereditary or traditional witches, is used to separate the continuation of an old religion tradition, witchcraft, from the more modern eclectic traditions, Wicca. This rule is not followed by everyone. Hijwitch. A Hijwitch is a solitary witch who practices a form of magic closely related to shamanism, in that they use herbs, trances, and shamanic techniques to induce altered states of consciousness. They work with familiar spirits, usually their ancestral dead, to assist in their otherworld work, and frequently use objects of nature in their rituals. This is the closest point between a witch and a shaman. Heathen. Heathen is also a Christian term used to denote anyone who adheres to the religion of a tribe or nation that does not acknowledge the God of Judaism, Christianity or Islam, the same deity, worshipped through three very different religions. This definition is applied to the same nature-based, goddess/god worship called witchcraft/Wicca with or without magic involved. Pagan. Pagan was also used by Roman Christians, and meant anyone who was not Christian or heathen, or in other words, having no apparent religion. However, today the terms heathen and pagan are used synonymously to indicate anyone who is following a nature-oriented, goddess/god worshipping religion, belief, or philosophy. The term neo-pagan may also be added to this category, and refers to anyone participating in a more contemporary paganism, versus attempting to follow the traditional path. From the above definitions, we see that the terms witchcraft, witch, Wicca, heathen, pagan and neo-pagan, are tied together in a rather loose-knit clump. How you choose to define any of these terms and their associated beliefs and practices seems to be pretty much a matter of personal choice, supported or disputed depending on who you ask, and may really be irrelevant, unless you join a particular circle or tradition. There are four major branches of witchcraft today. Gardnerian, introduced by Gerald Gardner in the 1950s. Alexandrian, introduced by Alex and Maxine Sanders. A break-off from Gardnerian hereditary, the beliefs and practices of the old religion, as passed within a particular family or bloodline. Traditional, the beliefs and practices of the old religion, as passed down within a group or circle, but not necessarily within a family or bloodline. Within the hereditary and traditional categories fall a countless variety of beliefs, philosophies and religions, of which any attempt to name would be an injustice, but for purposes of clarification, both hereditary and traditional refer to manner of continuity, not a particular belief or tradition. There may be one additional category, however small but growing, and that is the beliefs or traditions that have hived off and evolved from an earlier tradition and come into general acceptance within the witch/Wiccan community. Magic. Magic with the letter K at the end is used to denote the use of the supernatural for the purpose of altering reality in conformity with one's intent and will, versus the sleight of hand practiced by stage magicians. Ritual is a ceremony employing the use of special symbolic attire, gestures, prayers, and physical tools for the purpose of worship or magic. Rituals may be spontaneous, prepared, or traditional. Definitions relating to shamanism. Shamanism. Shamanism is a term derived from the language of the Tingis people of Siberia, and refers to the primitive practice of magic through an altered state of consciousness. Shamanism is not a religion, it is a practice. Shaman. Shaman is a term used to denote anyone who enters into an altered state of consciousness, usually at will, in order to access hidden knowledge or power for the purpose of helping another. Spirit helpers.